Over past few years, internationalization of higher education has become an important phenomenon of great interest, not only for the global higher education community, but also further afield. It is also largely a national interest. Many countries have developed or are developing policies and strategies at the national level. They have recognized or recognizing that internationalization is a means to achieving higher quality, enhancing reputation, improving national competitiveness, and also providing a direct resource of revenue. This is why many studies, data collection exercises, policies, strategies regarding the internationalization of higher education are being elaborated at the national level and are typically based on domestic interest. They usually focus on promotion, strengthening, improving the local higher education sector. At the same time, many higher education institutions have been emphasizing opening up beyond national and regional borders. Thus, also international studies, data collection and analysis that go beyond the national or regional context are pivotal for understanding the impact of this process. Internationalization is, after all, about international cooperation among universities, academics, and about mutual learning across cultures. Those analyses are also important for everyone interested in learning how institutions around the globe pursue and engage in internationalization, what are the similarities and differences in approaches and perceptions. And, of course, it allows institutional actors to be more aware and respectful of the ways the internationalization may be experienced elsewhere. Having said that, let us have a look at the result of the survey carried out at 907 higher education institutions from 126 countries in the world. The survey was carried out by the International Association of Universities in 2018 and has a great value for practitioners. The survey showed us that an overwhelming majority of institutions, more than 90%, have internationalization mentioned in their mission or strategic plan, which is a clear sign that internationalization has become widespread at higher education institutions around the world. The survey data has also proved that context has a crucial effect on the development and implementation of internationalization strategies and activities. Let's start with the top benefits of internationalization according to the survey. Look at this predefined list and take a minute or two and select and rank top 3 benefits from the list according to your own perspective. Which 3 aspects of internationalization do you consider the most beneficial? Is it enhanced international cooperation and capacity building, enhanced internationalization of curriculum or internationalization at home, enhanced prestige or profile of the institution, improved graduate employability, improved quality of teaching and learning, increased international awareness of deeper engagement with global issues by students, increased international networking by faculty and researchers, increased revenue generation, opportunity to benchmark, compare institutional performance within the context of international good practice, or is it strengthened institutional research and knowledge production capacity? Are you finished? Are you ready? If yes, let us have a look at the results of the survey on how higher education institutions saw it, where the respondents were asked to select and rank the top 3 expected benefits from the same predefined list. And here we see the top 2 benefits according to the survey. Those are, 36% voted for enhanced international cooperation and capacity building, and 17% for improved quality of teaching and learning. We can see that also other aspects such as enhanced internationalization at home and enhanced prestige or profile for the institution were ranked quite highly. Both received 9%, and here we see the overall rating. Internationalization is ideally an intentional process undertaken by higher education institutions, and as such, it is led by some key drivers internal to the institutions. According to the survey, those were primarily heads of institutions, which proves that the support of the institutional leadership in the internationalization process is absolutely pivotal. The second top internal key driver are the international relation offices, for members of which is this e-learning course primarily dedicated. As for the external key drivers, those are primarily business and industry demand and demand from higher education institutions and government policy. As for the obstacles to internationalizations, the main internal barriers were mentioned: insufficient financial resources, administrative or bureaucratic difficulties, and lack of knowledge of foreign languages. From external obstacles, it is mainly funding, followed by language barrier, difficulty of recognition or equivalences of qualifications, study programs and course credits, and visa restrictions, and anti-immigration and increasingly nationalistic policies play a stronger role. In terms of activities, students' mobility as a whole, be it incoming or outgoing, credit or degree mobility, is a top priority in all regions, followed by strategic partnerships and international research collaboration. And the last interesting aspect from the survey, assessment of internationalization activities, which seems to be common practice with the internal assessment process. On the other hand, only 1/3 of the respondents report having a comprehensive approach including both internal and external assessment. If you want to know more details, you will find the link to the study down below this video. Needless to say that over past few years, internationalization of higher education is becoming of high interest also for the higher education institutions in the Central Eastern and Southeastern Europe. We have acquired quite a good picture based on the evidence collected via desk research in 6 target countries. Those were Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, Serbia, and Slovakia. Analysis of the existing policy frameworks showed that dedicated national global talent attraction and support strategies are still relatively uncommon or fragmented across the target region. Only in few target countries such national policies were introduced. In general, policy efforts aiming to foster the attractiveness of higher education institutions to international PhD students and academics could be reflected in the numbers of internationals hosted or employed in before-mentioned countries. Although all target region countries experience certain increase in numbers of international PhD students, those with national strategic and systematic policies manage to achieve significant increases in numbers of this target group, approaching nearly the EU average, as we can see in the case of Croatia, the Czech Republic and Hungary on this graph from 2015 to 2020, focusing on the trends in 10 target countries. When comparing the share of international researchers engaged at higher education institutions in the target region over the similar period, so from 2016 to 2019, for which comparable data was available, the trend was generally less positive than in case of PhD students. Only 3 countries experienced an increase. It is Czech Republic, Poland and Slovenia, particularly noticeable in the Czech Republic, and 2 countries had flat growth. It's Bulgaria and Slovakia. A downward trend was observed in 4 countries like Croatia, Hungary, North Macedonia and Serbia. Although in recent years many higher education institutions across the Central, Eastern and Southeastern Europe have made a clear progress in building their capacity to attract and support international academics, particularly at the early stage of their careers, and some of the target countries have experienced noticeable increases in the numbers of international PhD students hosted on a longer-term basis, it needs to be stressed out that these achievements were propelled by growing political support at national level. On the other hand, It is evident that the numbers of more established international researchers and lecturers attracted on a longer-term basis stagnated or decreased in 7 target countries over the last years. And again, if you want to know more details on the study and find out about the recommendations both to national policymakers and higher education institutions in the target region, click to the link below this video.